Scanning for audio.
Welcome to the Tin Dog Podcast number 95D. If you haven't seen day 4 of Torchwood, stop listening now. I'm not joking. There will be spoilers. There will be a giant spoiler here. So just stop. Don't listen. Store me away. I'm only a small file. And then play me once you've seen the episode. Right. Torchwood, Day 4. Jack is in the diary room, reminiscing about 1965. Well, I must admit, I didn't see that end coming. I thought that Yanto was, well, here to stay. Okay, so the rules of horror movies state that once somebody falls in love with someone, something awful happens to them. And with this being episode 4 of 5, we're also presented with the lowest point, the darkness before the daybreak. And 101 other cliches that you get in this sort of thing. But you know, I just didn't see it coming. Perhaps it's a failing of mine. Perhaps it's a sign of extremely good writing. And perhaps not. Everyone else, and I mean everyone, seems to be absolutely loving this episode. But tonight's and last night's were, well, for me, miserable. Now, I'll put my hand up and say I'm a Doctor Who fan. I like Torchwood. I really, really enjoyed Season 2. But I am a Doctor Who fan. I like the mix of scary and, well, funny. And this has just been relentlessly miserable, like being forced to watch The Children of Men over and over again. Again, a science fiction film I'm not particularly fond of. I was aware of how distracted I'd become while watching the episode, when the thing that made me react the most was the fact that the guy had a mobile phone he could use in a lift. If anyone's ever tried using a mobile phone in a lift, which is basically a Faraday cage, you'll know that that is the most science fiction aspect of this whole story. Yeah, the thing in the glass case with the fog is a bit Independence Day. There's a touch of the John Wyndham's about the storyline and things like that, but that's fine. No, the thing I had issues with was the mobile phone in the lift. One of the characters I haven't talked about so far this week is the government technician, the guy in the brown coat. Is it just me, or does he look like Stanley Unwin's child? Or perhaps even Stanley Unwin? If you don't know who that is, ask your dad, or your granddad, or your great-granddad. I've also decided not to do a combined review file. Each individual episode of Torchwood could be watched, and then people can come and listen to each individual Tin Dog. It makes much more sense that way. But anyway, back to the story. I'm not overly impressed, or indeed happy with the vomiting bucket alien. You've still not particularly seen it, and I've got a feeling they're going to go old school on this, and you may never actually get to see this thing. But what do the aliens want to do with the children? Is it just another alien race trying to survive? Again? But for me, the truly miserable bit was the conversations with, and I'm sorry to say this, with Nick Briggs. Yes, it's lovely to see our beloved Dalek voice finally appearing front of camera for once. Let's face it, this story breaks down into 3 scenes. Well, 3 sets. And it's a bit like watching Big Brother. The Torchwood team are sitting in a room watching Big Brother. They're watching some people perform their everyday lives. On a screen, even with subtitles. So that's one set. The other set is the big fish tank room. And the third set is the Whitehall rooms, sitting around chatting. No wonder this felt like a John Pertwee story. There was a lot of sitting around chatting. The things that were being said, things like, we finally know what school league tables are actually for, was enormously dark. But it just didn't ring true as being as funny as it could have been. Yeah, Doctor Who is where the comedy belongs. Torchwood is kind of dark, but they're all in the same universe. I've been reading some of Joe Lidster's tweets on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I am on there. Simply type in Tin Dog Podcast as all one word, and I will pop up. But I'm mainly there to read what other people are saying, and it's well worth popping onto the programme and bringing up Joe and some of the things that have been said and said to him. But of course, all of this fades into, well, meaninglessness when we come back to the big thing about this episode. No more Yanto. Or perhaps it is sci-fi after all. We still might have a bit of Yanto to spare. Given some of the things that were said in the Torchwood audios, you had the feeling that Yanto was going soon. In the same way that in a war movie, you get the feeling that the guy who talks about what he's going to do when he gets home, you know he's going to get shot in the next reel. And so Torchwood is dark. It's darker than we've ever known. But let's hope it kicks a bit of bottom in the next episode, because tomorrow is day 5. So until then, be seeing you.
Well, that's the end of the show. Please remember to watch Torchwood for next week's TV Club. Until next week, go away.